Hold on to your gavels, folks, because this story is about to rewrite the script on love, loss, and reclaiming your voice. You won't believe what Judge Faith Jenkins just said about her divorce. After months of carefully guarded silence, she's finally speaking out. And what she revealed about her marriage to Kenny Lattimore has left fans in complete shock, triggering a ripple effect across social media and the entertainment world. Was the courtroom queen, the woman who has always been the epitome of grace hiding her own emotional trial, a personal inferno, behind closed doors? The truth, as it turns out, is deeper, more layered, and more impactful than anyone imagined. For years, Judge Faith Jenkins has commanded respect and admiration in various arenas. She's a force to be reckoned with in the courtroom, a captivating presence on television, and even seemed to be an authority in the world of love and relationships. When she married Grammy-nominated Randy B. singer Kenny Lattimore, many admired their union as a perfect blend of elegance, wisdom, faith, and celebrity charm. It looked like the epitome of black love and a fairy tale that would inspire all. But beneath the polished Instagram posts, the perfectly curated public appearances, and those ever-present, seemingly genuine smiles, something was clearly unraveling. Cracks were forming in the foundation, and the weight of unspoken truths was starting to take its toll. Now, at 47 years young, Judge Faith has finally broken her silence following the court's difficult but ultimately necessary decision regarding her divorce. And her reaction isn't just emotional, it's downright revealing. It's a raw, unfiltered account of love, loss, and the ultimate act of self-preservation. In this video, we're diving deep into what really happened behind the scenes of this seemingly perfect marriage, exploring the emotional breakdowns, the silent red flags, the courtroom ironies, and the bold steps Judge Faith took to reclaim her voice, her narrative, and her future. You'll hear the full timeline of events, from the initial spark to the final legal decree. We will explore the words Judge Faith had to say, which is something so poignant, so raw, and so authentic that it challenges everything we thought we knew about this prominent public figure. And of course, we'll dissect how fans, critics, and everyone in between are reacting to this unexpected turn in her seemingly perfect love story. This isn't just celebrity gossip, it's a real-life lesson in resilience, self-respect, and the power of choosing yourself. From legal papers and court documents to the raw, unfiltered personal pain, we're unpacking it all. We're going to leave no stone unturned in our quest to understand the truth behind this divorce and the strength it took for Judge Faith to walk away. Stick around, because what we're about to uncover will challenge everything you thought you knew about one of TV's most respected and admired judges. Get ready to question assumptions, challenge perceptions, and witness a woman redefine her own destiny. Let me tell you how it all started. Because this wasn't just a romance, it was a testament, a beacon of hope for many who believed in second chances and the enduring power of love. When news broke that Judge Faith Jenkins and gospel Randy B. singer Kenny Lattimore had tied the knot back in March 2020, people didn't just celebrate, they believed. They believed in second chances, in mature love, in God-ordained timing, and in the possibility of finding happiness after heartbreak. It seemed like a perfect match, a union blessed by fate. Faith Jenkins, a former Miss Louisiana, a sharp-witted legal analyst, and a respected judge known for her sharp mind and unwavering eloquence, had always kept her personal life meticulously private. She was the kind of woman who didn't just speak truth, she lived it. Her reputation was spotless, her integrity unquestionable, and her influence undeniable. Kenny Lattimore, a Grammy-nominated artist celebrated for his soulful voice, his captivating stage presence, and his deep spiritual values, was also coming into this marriage with past wounds. He had already experienced a public and painful divorce from singer Chanté Moore, which left many wondering if he'd ever truly settle down again, if he would ever open his heart to love again. But when these two came together, it felt like destiny had finally delivered them both something pure, something genuine, and something worth fighting for. Their wedding, officiated by none other than Devin Franklin, was elegant, heartfelt, and overflowing with promise. Instagram lit up with breathtaking pictures of the bride in her sleek white gown, radiating joy and confidence, and the groom beaming with pride, his eyes filled with adoration. For fans, it was the fairy tale ending they'd been waiting for, a real-life testament to the power of love. Two successful professionals, mature and grounded in faith, finding love in their 40s, proving that it's never too late to find your soulmate. And for a while, everything seemed, on the surface, utterly perfect. They posted sweet anniversary messages, celebrated each other's career milestones with genuine enthusiasm, and gave joint interviews about love, respect, and God's perfect timing. They were the embodiment of relationship goals, the couple everyone aspired to be. Judge Faith once said, "Marriage is not just about love. It's about choosing your partner every day." At the time, it felt like a wise and hopeful message, a testament to the commitment required to make a marriage work. Now, looking back with the benefit of hindsight, it reads like a quiet clue, a subtle warning sign that not everything was as picture-perfect as it seemed. A hint of the struggle and the effort required to maintain the facade of happiness. But here's the craziest part. While fans were swooning over their picture-perfect relationship, setting them up as the paragon of relationship goals, insiders close to the couple reportedly began to notice that something wasn't quite right. Subtle things, missed appearances, less social media content, and body language that felt distant. It was as if a subtle shift had occurred, a change in the atmosphere that only those closest to them could detect. And just like that, the fairy tale started to fade, the magic began to dissipate, and the carefully constructed facade began to crumble. Now here's where the story takes a subtle but undeniable turn. While the public continued to cheer them on, celebrating them as Black excellence and a power couple for the culture, something quietly shifted behind the scenes, something almost imperceptible to the outside world. And the first signs, they weren't loud, they were quiet. So quiet that only those paying very close attention, those who knew them intimately, would have caught it. The little things that hinted at a deeper discord. It started with social media. Judge Faith, who had once lovingly shared glimpses into her marriage, heartfelt anniversary tributes, sun-drenched vacation photos, motivational reflections on love and partnership, began to go silent. The flow of intimate glimpses dried up. No more photos of Sunday brunches. No more behind-the-scenes clips of Kenny's performances. And for someone who used her platform to empower and uplift others through her transparency, that sudden silence spoke volumes. It was a stark contrast to her previous openness, a clear indication that something had changed. Then came the absences. Fans began to notice that the couple, who had once made joint appearances at award shows, graced red carpets together, and attended church events side by side, were no longer being seen together. Faith would appear at speaking engagements alone, her smile perhaps a little too bright, her demeanor a little too poised. Kenny, too, was spotted solo at several industry functions, his usual vibrancy dimmed, his energy subdued. There was no dramatic announcement, no scandalous headlines, just a slow, painful fade, a gradual distancing that raised more questions than it answered. But the real eyebrow raiser? Judge Faith's tone began to shift in her public statements. In one interview, she spoke about the importance of not losing yourself in love, and mentioned how vital it was to stay grounded in your own purpose, to maintain your own identity. While she didn't name names, the message was clear. She was speaking from experience, sharing a lesson learned the hard way. The subtext was unavoidable. And then there were her cryptic Instagram captions. One read, "Peace is not something you find in others. It's something you create within yourself." Another, "Don't confuse silence with weakness. Sometimes it's survival." For longtime followers, these weren't just motivational quotes pulled from a generic self-help book. They were cries for clarity, subtle red flags waving in plain sight, pleas for understanding masked as inspirational messages. Meanwhile, Kenny, known for his emotional transparency in his music, wasn't exactly silent either. In a podcast interview, he opened up about how difficult it is for two very public figures with strong personalities to maintain intimacy under a microscope. He said, "Love isn't always enough when life's pressures come knocking." Again, no names were mentioned, but the tone hinted at strain, the unspoken words painting a picture of a relationship struggling under immense pressure. You won't believe what some close sources began to whisper. According to people within the gospel and entertainment circles, differences in lifestyle, career pace, and even personal expectations were starting to cause tension. The whispers grew louder, the rumors more persistent. Judge Faith was reportedly focused on expanding her television career, possibly even venturing into writing and producing, reaching for new heights in her professional life. Kenny, meanwhile, was trying to find a new rhythm in his music, shifting toward ministry and mentoring, seeking fulfillment in a different direction. Let me tell you, when two powerful forces are headed in different directions, it's only a matter of time before the collision happens. When two lives are diverging, it's only a matter of time before they pull apart. This is where it gets real. After months of quiet speculation, the whispers turned into headlines. Judge Faith Jenkins had officially filed for divorce, a bold step towards reclaiming herself. Fans were stunned, heartbroken for the seeming loss of a perfect union. The same woman who once inspired millions with her wisdom on relationships and the importance of communication was now navigating the very legal system she had once used to help others find resolution. The irony was inescapable. But this time, it was personal. The documents, though sealed from public inspection for the most part, revealed enough to confirm that the decision was final. Irreconcilable differences were cited, the standard legal explanation for the dissolution of a marriage. There were no salacious claims, no explosive accusations, but the finality of the language spoke volumes. This wasn't a trial separation, a temporary cooling-off period. This was over. But what makes this chapter so powerful isn't just the court filing itself. It's what came next. Judge Faith Jenkins, calm, poised, and usually composed, finally issued a public statement, a declaration of independence. And what she said shocked everyone. Her words were layered, strong, but undeniably vulnerable. She exposed her heart while retaining her dignity. She wrote, "It's never easy to walk away from something you poured your heart into. But sometimes, healing requires separation. I have nothing but love and respect for Kenny, but I had to choose peace. I had to choose me." That last sentence, "I had to choose me," it struck a nerve, especially with women who have long admired her for her strength, her clarity, and her unwavering commitment to self-respect. Social media exploded. Twitter lit up with messages of support, of empathy, and of shared experience. Instagram flooded with messages from fans sharing their own stories of walking away from love that no longer served them, of choosing themselves over societal expectations. A collective sigh of relief that the charade was over, that the real Judge Faith was finally speaking her truth. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Sources close to Judge Faith say that the decision wasn't made lightly, or rashly. In fact, it had been brewing for over a year, a slow and agonizing process of self-discovery and acceptance. Quiet therapy sessions, long and difficult conversations, mediation attempts. She reportedly fought to save the marriage behind closed doors, doing everything she would advise someone else to do in her courtroom. Exhausting every avenue before admitting defeat. But in the end, it just wasn't enough. Some even claimed that the emotional distance between the two had reached a point where living under the same roof had become almost unbearable, not because of fights or chaos, but because of the silence, the absence of connection, the loneliness that creeps in when two people are physically together but emotionally miles apart. A suffocating sense of isolation within the confines of a marriage. And then came the final court appearance. Unlike celebrity divorces filled with drama and spectacle, this one was discreet, understated, and private. No press, no paparazzi, just two adults in a private courtroom closing a very public chapter of their lives. But the irony was hard to ignore. A judge known for guiding others through emotional and legal battles was now receiving a judgment herself. The woman in the courtroom was the person receiving the judgment. And yet, the dignity with which she handled it, the grace she displayed in the face of immense personal pain, set her apart. Let me tell you, this wasn't just about a marriage ending. This was about a woman in her prime standing firmly in her truth and reclaiming her story, taking back the power that had been subtly eroded over time. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Right after the court's decision, Judge Faith made a bold career move that left everyone wondering if this was her way of turning pain into purpose, of transforming heartbreak into a catalyst for growth. What did she do next? And how did Kenny Lattimore respond after the divorce was finalized? Stick around, because the next chapter is all about transformation, reinvention, and how Judge Faith used the aftermath of her divorce to rise even higher, to become an even more powerful and influential force. You know that saying, sometimes your breakdown is really your breakthrough? That couldn't be more true in Judge Faith's case. Following the finalization of the divorce, she didn't disappear, she didn't retreat into silence. Instead, she re-emerged with a message and mission that was louder, stronger, and more unapologetic than ever before. She chose to turn her pain into power and channel that energy into something positive and transformative. Let me tell you exactly how she flipped the script. Just weeks after the court decision, Judge Faith was invited to speak at a major women's empowerment summit in Atlanta. Many assumed she would cancel, that the timing seemed too raw, too sensitive. But not only did she show up, she owned the stage. She dominated the space with truth and wisdom. In her keynote, she didn't hide from the elephant in the room. She opened up about the pain of public disappointment, the difficulty of choosing peace over appearances, and, most importantly, the importance of women learning how to advocate for themselves, not just in court but in life. She empowered women to take control of their narratives. One line from her speech went viral: "I've helped others fight for justice for over a decade. Now I'm fighting for my own." And that fight begins with not settling for a life that dims your light. Thousands of women reposted that quote, resonating deeply with the message of self-worth and resilience. The clip racked up over 2 million views on TikTok within 48 hours, turning Judge Faith into an overnight sensation. Suddenly, Judge Faith wasn't just a TV personality or legal expert. She had become a symbol of self-worth, resilience, and emotional clarity, an icon of strength in the face of adversity. And that was just the beginning. She announced a brand new project, a book titled The Verdict Within, which would combine legal insights with personal healing, centered around themes of emotional intelligence, knowing when to walk away,